All right, so we watched a movie called Thriller.
It was a thriller.
It was a thriller.
Had nothing to do with Michael Jackson. Unfortunately.
Yeah. The movie is as bafflingly lazy as the title suggests. They couldn't even think of a title. We made a thriller, I guess we'll call it Thriller. Even though there's barely any thrilling scenes in the movie. Whenever I write horror screenplays, I index card them out and I do color coded, right? So blue is like a regular exposition scene, and red is a suspense scene. And so when I'm done, I take a look back at my index cards and I'm like, all right, there's enough suspense scenes. I see a lot of red. This is good. I feel like if you did this with this movie, there'd be like red, blue, 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 red, blue, blue, blue. It was like...
Or like pink.
Yeah. It was just bizarre.
Chauncey killed him?
One of us is next. Let me get this straight. So Chauncey Page comes home after serving 4 years in juvie, and the first thing he does is stalk you and your friends on homecoming weekend. You sound like one of those paranoid white girls in a scary movie.
They start seeing him in his hoodie, in the hood, haunting them or whatever, and people start dying. Daria, your thoughts?
You know, it gives me hope. It gives me hope that we will have a film on Netflix, many films. Because if this can get on Netflix, I feel like anything can. I felt like they watched Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street and any other well-known horror and just kind of copied it or tried to and failed miserably. From the dialogue, to the acting, to the cinematography, to the sound.
Yeah, the iMovie sound effects. RZA is in the movie as the principal, and he's credited as doing the music. He was a well-known musician, and the music literally sounded like iMovie music.
Like you went on YouTube, the free audio, and like pulled from there, and free sound effects.
Well, the reason I want to watch this movie is because I'm a Blumhouse fanboy. I love everything they do. I think Jason Blum is the smartest producer in Hollywood. And so when I saw this go to Netflix, I was intrigued because I was like, South Central LA, this is like Boys in the Hood meets I Know What You Did Last Summer.
And like, it was so funny because he's like, this movie just continues to baffle me. And right after he said that, there was just a shot. And I'm going to ruin it for you because please do not see this film. This girl gets pushed off the roof. And like, it cuts away, and then it cuts, because I was like, where's the splat? We didn't hear the splat. Yeah. It cuts back to her. She's freaking hanging off the side of the building, just like in the most comical way.
It was a comedic edit. Like, it's an edit you would see in a comedy movie.
Yeah. Like someone hanging off the side of a building or something, but like, I could not. Like, literally, it just built up to get worse. And then the ending, it just did not make any sense.
Yeah, it was just the way it was filmed, it was so comedic. It was like, you have your bad guy and he's like running like this, like he's like really trying to hustle.
And of course, every character he's chasing falls. This football player, like, who's the star football player, it's like halftime, he's in the locker room and the guy's chasing after him. And then he like, while running away, sprains his ankle. I'm like, what? He didn't get pushed. He like was running, that's what he does as a football player, and sprains his ankle.
There's a scene where a girl trips and falls. She's in the middle of green grass, completely green grass, and there's this huge out of place boulder of a rock that the killer, he goes and picks it up. It looks like a gray chunk of styrofoam. And like,
just conveniently right next to her.
It's so lazy. I think my biggest problem with this movie is that, you know, we do background, and we're extras in movies, TV show, and at the end of the day, the crew often will say, thank you very much, background. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible, you know. And a lot of times I think they're blowing smoke up our ass. They just want us to feel good. But this was the first movie I watched where I realized, no, we kind of do make the movie.
Yeah.
Because There are shots in this movie. There's a homecoming dance where there are literally like 20 people
Yeah.
at a Compton High School homecoming, and it's so awkward. And there's scenes of them in the parking lot, and there's like one random person walking in the background, and that same random person walking back again. And like I play high school sports, so this annoys me. I love high school sports. There's a scene in the locker room where the coach is giving a halftime talk, and where's the assistant coaches? Why is there only 7 football players in this locker room?
They couldn't afford the rest.
You need a defense and an offense. You can't just have 7 football players getting the speech. Where are the other players? What are the defense going to know to do? What's the off? You can't, if you're going to make a movie, you have to write it to your budget.
I feel like we could watch this film again and find more things wrong with it. Like, things just keep popping up in my head. Like, this review would be the length of the movie we just watched if I continue to explain what we found wrong with it. And there was only one girl who was pretty good at acting.
She was doing her best Tiffany Haddish impersonation.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. And she had the most interesting aspect of her in the movie was that she is the sister of the girl who died, right?
It was never explained.
It was never explained.
It was never explained.
Never explained. So she is, every morning she wakes up and she looks in the mirror at little pictures of her and her sister when they were younger, and she goes...
Her twin sister.
Her twin sister, and she looks at the picture and goes, I miss you, little sis. And then she'll look at the mirror and go, I miss you too.
Literally like that.
Yeah, yeah. And you're like, whoa, this is weird. This is like, they're gonna pay this off. They're gonna explain, like, she has to be a bad guy or something. But no, she just dies. And like, that could have been the movie.
I'm sure it would have been a way better movie.
The motivation for her would have been made much more sense for her to be the killer than who actually is revealed to be the killer.
Which was revealed in a I Know What You Did Last Summer / Scream type of way.
It was like a Scooby-Doo kind of way. Where
Yeah.
It's like, whoa? Yeah,
The
yeah.
principal just like breaks out in the back store. I was in the military. And then like punches a kid in the stomach.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then there's only 2 chaperones. The one teacher who works at that school and the principal. And then they end up drinking alcohol. And oh my god.
Well, to be fair, there were only 20 students. I think you need 1 adult per 10 students.
Oh, I mean, I guess it works then.
Yeah, it was very bizarre. I don't know why. I don't know if Blumhouse was blackmailed into being involved with this movie. I don't know. Because I was wondering, like, why would Blumhouse, who puts out quality movies, why would they put this one to Netflix? And now I know why. If this got released to major theaters, this would be laughable.
Yeah. I mean, we were cracking up.
Cracking up.
The entire time with how ridiculous it was.
Yeah. I didn't know people made movies like this still. I thought we had grown beyond that.
Yeah.
How do people with this level of get the funding? That's all I want to know. That's why
If you guys have money you want to give to like make a movie, give it to us. Like, we will make you a good movie.
I'll just say I think we can do better than this. I feel confident we can do better
I know
than
we
this.
can do better than this.
We
God.
probably
That
won't give you The
hurt.
Shining or anything, but we'll give you something better than this. Could have been. They could have titled this Scary Movie 6, and that would have made sense. Yeah, this movie just had some bizarre choices. Scary movies, they do things to make their villains look weird or creepy. I think of like Halloween in the original when Michael Myers, they find a dog like eaten in the house, and they're like, oh my god, he's been eating dogs. And you're like, oh, that's weird. Well, there's a scene in this movie where the killer goes to the fridge, opens it, gets a can of ketchup, and squirts it in his mouth. And like that was the filmmaker's way of showing like, this guy is weird. He eats ketchup out of the bottle. I like to imagine that they did try it with a regular ketchup bottle, but when he did it, it kept making the fart noises. And so it just kept farting ketchup in his mouth. And they're like, oh, we can't use this. This movie was so baffling. Daria, would you recommend the creatively titled thriller?
No. It seems like it was like a 3-hour long movie because of how bad it was. It just like never ended, and it was just. I wish I could have that time back. And I wish we watched the other film instead. I need to like go watch something good to like.
This is like you need a palate cleanser after this. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm going to recommend this movie.
Oh my god! Everyone's gonna stop watching our show because.
I'll recommend it for two groups of people. There's a caveat. I recommend it for people who are love bad movies, and for aspiring filmmakers, specifically horror filmmakers.
Things not to do.
Yeah. I think I've learned more from watching bad movies than I have good movies. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like watching The Room, the elements of filmmaking become so visible, even to someone who's not like, just to a casual viewer. It's like, that doesn't work, that doesn't work, that doesn't work. And so once you see the elements of filmmaking, you're like, oh. And so Thriller, it's like, it should be called How Not to Make a Thriller. So, yeah, I mean, for any sane person, don't watch this. But for people who love bad movies and aspiring filmmakers, you crazy people out there, watch this movie because you'll learn a lot and you'll have fun.
Have some beers with you.
Lots of beers. Yeah.
Play a drinking game. Every time they do something cliche, take a drink. Actually, don't do that. You'll end up in the hospital.
We're going to be held responsible for...
Don't do that. Actually, I go back on that. Do not do that.
Yeah.
Well, this has been another episode of Movie Blah Blah.
Yes, thank you for watching. Subscribe, share, comment below.
If you're daring enough to watch this film.
Yeah. I wonder if people are going to see Thriller review and they'll be like, why are they reviewing the Michael Jackson music video? Yes, thank you for watching, and we'll be back soon with another Movie Blah Blah review. I am Jordan.
I am Daria.
And thank you for watching.
We'll see you next time.